Good evening, everyone. This is my reflection for week 5. On the other hand, Canopy Unit 3 and 4, it speaks about a person's name and how important it is to identify a person by their name. In some cultures, your name will remain the same and sometimes your name change as you become an adult. Names have meanings. Some of the meanings are specific and some are general. Pronouncing someone's names correctly is showing respect to the individual. In Teachers can create a table or an activity with 3 columns so that teachers, the students, and their parents can participate in an activity in doing an activity with regards to name. Um, there is a literacy process. Students will read a book in which his or her own name will be featured. The teacher will choose a text to engage a creative dialogue with the student. They will introduce the book to the student and generate questions to see what the students understand and to build on their previous knowledge, and the students will make prediction after they finish and the teacher will ask questions. The most striking is the story about my name is Maria Isabella. The teacher did not call her by her name because there is 2 other students in the class with that name. The teacher called her Maria Lopez. She did not answer when the teacher called her. She would left out of activities in regards to her name. For example, the Christmas pageant was an important activity and she was left out of that program. She started reading books and hoping she can find a way to return her name. In this she would feel more comfortable in using her name. Based on these readings, you can also create an acrostic using your name, and try to find interesting and creative example. Like I will create the activity with the students about my. I will create an activity with my students or their family member name. The books can be centered or features on one name, such as the first initial or syllables in the individual name. Someone names can be changed by migration from one country to another by the family member or by the teachers. Sometimes teachers are not able to pronounce the name correctly and they change the child name. In this case, sometimes the children will feel bad and start feeling left out, so the teacher needs to pronounce the child's name correctly. A name change, appreciation of one name. Sometimes children do not like their name until a special situation which occur to them to appreciate their name. Like sometimes somebody will say, oh, this name is so special, I like your name. So the child will develop that ability to feel appreciated. Some names are hidden names for some reason or the other, for a cultural reason, or their names are not known to everyone. Sometimes students are teased about their name. Their names sound funny, and they face challenging situations, so they feel bad, like their name is funny for some reason or the other. Some people have names sounding like other names, or also names are very important for us to learn and to pronounce them correctly in showing respect. Sometimes teachers and students can create books of names. They can share it. Teachers will write down this name and the children share it with both their parents, their family member, and the wider community. They can create journals to talk about the name. Teachers can create procedures, invite parents to come in and view these activities when the teacher and the students create the book of names or the journal of names together with the child. They can research about information about from 4 parents, like where their name was originate, why they named this, because some people are named from other people. Like for example, I was given a name originated from my grandmother, so some people are named from their 4 parents. Creating an individual book can be interesting. They could ask their parents questions about their names. They both will share the information, ideas. When the book is complete, the teacher can also invite other people, as I said before, to come and view the book, talk about home conversation, share the book, and help the student to show more appreciation for their name. In chapter 4, Tableau's chapter 4, speaking a second language learner will still speak their home language with who do not understand. It will take a while for them to realize that the language is different. So they will still talk regardless people are not understanding it. They will still speak their own language to the person who is not understanding them. Young children would enter a phase of data collection before they start to use the language. And telegraphic speech is the use of few content words as an entire utterance. An adult in the classroom can ask the student simple question, and if the child is unable to answer this question, they can supply them with words that will help them, provide that scaffold them, guide them as to how to pronounce it. So if the child, for example, if you have a red car in your hand and the child say red, you can say car, and the child will probably repeat after you, so the child will say red car. So that is helping the child to develop the second language. Elaborate, extend, ask question, add new vocabulary. And formulatic speech is being documented by researchers studying young second language learners. These formulas help children to get ideas across with minimum use of language while they play. Example, Naisha and Boysong was playing with bottlers, and Boysong started protesting for Naisha to stop. In this situation, the two learners use all the useful language to communicate with each other. In the early acquisition process, learners use simple words like yes or no, bye-bye. These words are extremely helpful. They can learn to figure out the meaning of a second language word or phrase. It becomes very useful to them. Sometimes their interpretation of word or phrase is wrong. Example, when Boysong invited Andrew to come up and join him on the ladder, but he shouted, "Shut up." Andrew was frightened. This can cause problem because he's not really understanding what he's saying. He's inviting him to come on the ladder, but he said to him, "Shut up." So Andrew started to feel a little hurt and turn away. He's not interested in continuing to play anymore with him. Once a second language learner acquire a number of vocabulary, useful phrase, they are ready for the process of productive language, which means they not only use phrases, but they begin to build their own sentences. They will make mistakes though. The process of acquiring more challenges aspect of language. Second language learner will show their ability to analyze the structure of English. Example, when Naisha was trying to read the names of the cups, when she reached a cup without a name, she said nobody, but then she realized a name was written on the cup. She changed it is nobody to yes body. So she's trying to say somebody's name is written on the cup in her form of language. The developmental sequence consists of 4 periods: home language use, nonverbal period, telegraphic and formulatic use, and productive use. These was all explained further. And the factors affecting second language acquisition, we get an understanding of the brain in children. They acquire them to learn another language much easier than an adult. So when a child is younger, they are able to learn much faster than an adult. The plasticity of the brain allows children to acquire their own test and language aptitude. Children will learn in different ways. Teachers need to find interesting and creative ways to demonstrate lessons for children to learn language. And the aptitude test is an important indicator of second language acquisition. Example are language aptitude tests, modern language like learning numbers, letters, spelling, memorizing. I also read about motivation and how important it is to motivate your students for them to be successful. Individuals who are motivated will show interest and really eager to learn, while anxiety has a negative effect on students. In the information I read about the theories of language development, such as the cognitive theory, the social interaction theory, the behaviorist theory, and also the learning theory, there are at least four sources of language variability: the linguistic context, psychological processing factors, the social context, and language function. The information about the various types of curriculum and objectives of teaching was very interesting and enlightening to me. I've also learned about the assortment of learning styles. They are visual learner. These children learn best when they view pictures. The auditory learner learns best through lectures and conversation, and the kinesthetic learner uses study or practical application like running and jumping. They learn best. All these learning styles should be taken in consideration when a teacher is planning a lesson so he or she can meet the needs of their students individually. I've also read X1 journals, and I have in the journal it was interesting. I love the activity she prepared for her two students. The ABC Book of Florida is a great way to enlighten the students about the interesting place and things in Florida. It is also providing me with guidelines to complete my assignment. This week's chapters was very enlightening, and I have read a lot and I have learned a lot, and thank you very much.